Okay, so it is the third day. It's Sunday, and I'm at the village right now. If you can hear the boys in front of me, actually they're playing football or soccer with Chris, one of the guys from my class. I'm sitting under a tree because it's hot. It is 101 degrees today, which, if you ask me, is absolutely psychotic. But that's why I look like a mess. But I actually got a pretty good start to my project today. I'm really proud of it. Hi! How are you? Can you smile? Good. What's up? Some things I don't want to forget about Nabdam and Nangoti that are kind of funny and kind of not. One is it always smells like poop. There's animal droppings everywhere. They have goats, pigs, sheep, cows, chickens, and they roam freely because they're marked on their body of whose is whose. So they roam around and they go wherever they want. So there's always a slight smell of poop. And then something that's not really funny is the amount of trash that's here in Nangoti. They don't have any system of waste management or recycling. All of their water comes in plastic and everything they buy is then put into plastic. So you see it floating around everywhere. It covers almost everything. It's inside their houses, outside, under the trees, by the water. It's just everywhere. And then of course, you don't want to forget the kids. Say hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
They're everywhere too. There are hundreds of kids here. And judging by what my girls said today, I think every family has at least 5 children. So those are just some things I wanted to note about today. Okay, so it's 3 o'clock, I think, around then, and I just finished with my teaching lesson for today. Today's Monday, so they have their first day of school for the week. And I got to sit in and watch the 2 teachers teach. We called them both Madame. And the first thing she taught was ICT, I think. It was computer management. And she was teaching about Windows, and specifically the control box, which has the X out, the maximize button, and the minimize button. So she drew a computer screen on the blackboard, labeled the control box, the title box, and I think it was called the command box. And then she told the students what the control box did and asked them to draw it for her. So they have no computers here but are learning computer and tech management.
What is control box? What is control? What is the meaning of control? To control.
She was drawing the Windows screen from a very outdated book. I haven't seen a computer that looks like that in years. So that was a little sad, but the students all drew the control box, so they seemed to understand what it meant. And then she moved on to religious and moral studies and started talking about myths. She explained what a myth was, and she told one from Nigeria. Gross. Sorry, I'm getting bitten by bugs. And then they handed it over to me. I taught the girls today about dream boards. I called them goal boards because I didn't really understand the term dream. I taught them what a goal was, gave them some examples. I showed them mine, and then I let them draw on pieces of construction paper with markers. It took a long time for them to draw all of the pictures, and they drew things like houses, being a teacher, mango trees, being able to drive and ride in a car. So those were their life goals, was to be a mother, drive a car, have a house, and be a teacher or a doctor, a nurse. One girl said she wanted to be a policewoman. One girl said she would like to be a soldier. So those were the goals. Then I gave out the gold stickers. They put them on their dream or goal boards, and then we were finished for the day. While one madame was teaching, another was telling me about school and about teaching and about her career. Oh my God, check this out. Are you kidding me? They were all just looking at me. All right, guinea fowl, leave me alone. And a donkey. Leave me alone. I'd like to continue my video, please. Oh boy. All right. Well, that's that. And I'm having these black bugs crawl all over me. So that's fun. But I don't think they bite, so it's whatever, I guess. So the main madame was telling me that she's not from here, that she is from the Cape Coast. So she learned how to be a teacher down by Accra. And then she got placed up here to teach. And she says it's very different, that they don't have a lot at all, and that teachers are in danger here. She said that when they try to discipline the kids go home and tell their parents what happened, and their parents come and they get very angry. There's no support from home to go to school. There's a huge problem of teen pregnancy. Everyone has talked to us about that they don't want their teenagers getting pregnant, but it happens at 14, 15, 16, 17. And then they drop out of school to take care of their kids. And they are not married when they get pregnant. They never end up getting married to the man that gave them the baby. They just drop out of school and continue to have kids. So that was a little depressing. But I was very glad the two teachers were there. They helped me translate. A lot of these girls, I mean, the blank look that I got when I would say something was very intimidating. I was like trying to say things in all different kinds of ways, using synonyms, using very small words, and they were just looking at me. So the fact that Moses was there was very helpful, because he, after I was done with a few sentences, would then translate for the girls, and then they seemed to get it a little bit more. So I asked him after the class, I said, did they understand? You know, did they get anything that I was teaching them? And he said, yes, they understand and they're excited. So that's good. It can just be a little discouraging during the school day when it just seems like I'm not getting through to them. So tomorrow, let's see what's on the agenda for tomorrow. Tomorrow is reading the book that I bought off of Amazon about girls' confidence. So we'll see how that goes. I'm really hoping Moses is there. And then I'm also bringing a volleyball so that after school we can play. I'll also be doing the yes/no questionnaire with the 20 questions where they hold up a card that says yes or no when they agree with something. So I hope the language barrier isn't too bad tomorrow, because it has a lot to do with English and communication. And the teachers really seemed like at the end of my lesson they were ready to get home, because they had been there since 8 a.m. So we'll see how tomorrow goes. Every day is so different. I have no idea what the hell is gonna happen. At the beginning of this week I was saying I wish we had been more prepared. I wish, you know, we had known more, but I don't know what else I would be doing if I knew more before this, or if I had prepared more. It's just a difficult place to teach. It's not, I mean, I think they all have one pencil and one really old workbook that they use throughout the entire year. Even the teachers, I mean, they're just using such outdated stuff. So I guess if I had known that, I would have brought some more supplies, but we don't want to be like Santa Claus. That's not the point. I don't know, it's tough to try to figure out how to help, how to encourage self-promoted development in these people. But they just barely, they have things, but they're not advanced. And they're not connected really to anywhere outside of Ghana at all. I mean, they're connected to Bolgatanga if you take a 45-minute bus ride. But they're really separated from a lot of civilization. So it's tough wanting to help and not knowing what to do, especially for the kids. If I could just give them the motivation and the concrete reasoning to stay in school, I can tell them all of these facts and figures and, you know, my personal reasons for staying in school or why I think they should stay in school. But if they don't benefit from it, if they would be making money at home or eating at home or helping their parents at home with their kids, it's hard to be convincing when you have no idea what they're going through. And it's hard because even if they stay in school until graduation, what do they get out of it? Will they get hired? Will they move out of the village, out of Nangoti? Will their parents let them? Or will it all be wasted time? Because then they'll just become mothers and help around the house and help with farming. It's just crazy because they're so isolated. It's a 24-hour bus ride to Accra, maybe more. I never realized how much being close to a city was such a privilege. We have so many big cities in America. You drive to the next state and there's multiple big cities that you could go to and attempt to even find just a low-paying minimum wage job. I moved from Chicago to Tampa, both big cities. All of my friends are from large cities. And I knew about people living in rural areas, but rural in America is so much different than rural here. One girl told me, she said, "I want to go to America." And I said, "Why? Why do you want to come to America?" And she said, "Because it's not dusty there." All the groups in my class are doing, you know, we developed these projects all semester. And you're so excited to get here and so excited to come and try to make a change. I mean, of course we all have the white savior complex, the God complex. It's hard not to when you want to help these people. You want to help them eat, you want to help them be hydrated, educated. But I didn't anticipate how discouraging it would be to be here. And I don't know how people do it. Today is our second to last day in Nangoti. It's Tuesday, we leave on Thursday. So this morning, we actually were not in the village. I wasn't teaching the girls or observing the class. We actually went to an ancient shrine up in the mountains. Ghana doesn't have mountains like in Colorado or in Switzerland. It's big, rocky, dry mountains. We drove all the way up there, and then we got out, we got a guide. Then they do animal sacrifices, which we haven't met a tribe or a group that does that yet. They believe that if they sacrifice a donkey or a hen to the spirits, that what they need in life will come. So all of the houses had guinea fowl and hen feathers all over them. All the tombs did. There were bones everywhere. It was really cool. And then we started the climb up the mountain. It took about, I think, 30 minutes to get up, maybe 45. But the catch is that 90% of the way to the shrine, you have to go topless. You can't have anything above the waist or anything on below the knees. So I had to roll up my cropped leggings, take off the shirt, and take off the sports bra. You had to be completely topless. The group of girls will go first, and then the group of boys will go. You didn't have to do it. There were a few people in our group that decided not to for moral reasons, religious reasons, or they just weren't comfortable with it. But I was so down, man. I was so excited. First of all, it's hot as shit, okay? It's fucking crazy here. I was so ready to take my sports bra off. It was insane. We were on the top of a mountain looking over northern Ghana. It was just freeing. It was crazy. So then you would take it off, you know, away from the group behind a rock. And then you had to climb up these really steep rocks, jumping from one to another, until finally you got to a little slit in the mountain. And you had to crawl on all fours to get into the shrine. And once we got in there, crazy. There were animal offerings everywhere. It didn't smell, I didn't see any, you know, heads of animals, but there were guinea fowl feathers covering the entire thing, covering all these ropes. There were skulls. So we didn't see any live animals. And then there were topless Ghanaian men there who had just finished sacrificing to the gods. And we sat there hunched over in the mountains so we didn't hit our heads. And the whole thing looked over all of northern Ghana. I'm sure we could have seen Burkina Faso from where we were from. It was just insane, crazy. None of our professors did it because they're lame, but I had a lot of fun. And then we climbed all the way back down, walked through the village again, got on the bus. We had to stop along the way to Nangoti so that one group could buy planks of wood and another group could buy paper to label their shea butter packages that they've been making all week with the market women. But once we got here, I was dropped off at the school, and then Moses said, you know, I work at a school in the town over, I work at a high school, and I would love for you to go and meet them. So I said, okay, but how do I get there? And he asked one of his friends if he could use their motorbike. All right, I've never ridden a motorcycle. Sure, man, I guess, if that's how it has to happen. So he grabs the motorbike, I get on the back, he gives me the helmet, and we just race down the road, 15 minutes over to Congo, the city right next to us. I meet the headmaster of the school, I meet the 2 classes that he teaches, and then we got on the motorbike and came back. He told me that he wants to talk to the girls about teen pregnancy and he wants me to help him because it's a huge problem here, and he feels like if we talk to them together, they may understand why it's important to stay in school and to resist teen pregnancy as much as you can. So that's what I'll be doing tomorrow. Now I'm here. It's been crazy. The shrine was crazy. I don't know what else to say. Where else would I experience any of this? A sacrificial shrine to African gods? Like, that's crazy to me. And of course we've been sweating all day. I mean, it's hot. It's 102 degrees today. It feels like 112. Like, it's hot, but now that our trip is coming to a close and tomorrow's our last day, I'm really trying to soak everything in. I'm thanking God for trees that I can sit under for shade. Thanking God that a water here is 25 American cents. Less than that. I think it's about 20. It's crazy that you can walk into like a 7-Eleven at home and pay $2 for a water bottle, but here they'll give you a ginormous bottle of mineral filtered water for 25 American cents. So I'm appreciative of that. I'm appreciative of my health. A lot of people have been getting very sick just from heat exhaustion, dehydration, not being used to the food. I mean, to be honest, I'm hardly eating anything. They have rice for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or they'll eat eggs for breakfast, but I don't eat eggs. We went out to dinner yesterday at an Americanized hotel, and everyone got pizza. And even though I don't eat cheese, you know, I was desperate for something other than rice. Rice and cabbage is all we've been eating for over a week. It's just disgusting. I don't even like rice to begin with. I'm so tired of it. People have been throwing up. Just exhausted. No one, I mean, you hear, you know, Africa, it's a crazy place. Crazy place to be, but you have to experience it. I would, even though I'm eating the exact same thing every day, a Cliff Bar for breakfast and a handful of rice for dinner, even though it's 102 degrees, even if we run into some conflicts or problems, even though I've been frustrated, I would suggest not only this trip, but a trip to Africa for every single person I know. A lot of my friends and family think it's crazy. They're just like, what the hell are you going there for? But it's cliche to say it, it puts it all in perspective. People are so different, but that's what makes everyone beautiful. That was a huge fucking lizard. Holy shit. Puts you outside of your comfort zone. It's just a feeling. I mean, you can travel to places that are very similar to home. You can travel all over America and you'll still be with people who speak English, who know, you know, what food you eat. You know, they'll make fun of your accent if you're from Chicago, they'll make fun of your accent if you're from Boston. But America is America. And then you can go to Europe, and Europe is freaking amazing, but you still have the comforts of flushable toilets and freezing air conditioning, and you get to go shopping for nice things. And Africa is a place all on its own, and I'm so grateful to be able to study it as my concentration. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to be here. I'm trying to tone down the white savior complex. We all are. I think we're all just appreciative, grateful, realizing that they're surviving here. We might want to give them all of these different things, and they want it, they want to be modernized, but at the end of the day, their culture is beautiful. What they do is incredible. The products and the fruit and the food they have here is different than anything I've ever seen, and they're doing the damn thing. So if you want to come to Africa, or somebody wants to come to Africa, come to experience the culture. Give them the things that you don't need, because we live in a disgusting amount of excess in America, or in the Western world. And then just come to get to know them. That's what I've loved. It's gonna be really weird coming back. It's gonna be clean. I'm gonna have pressurized showers. We've all been talking about brownies, refrigerators, freezers, clean sheets, not being covered in red dust every day. But it's gonna be weird, and I'm gonna miss it. And it seems impossible to ever come back, but you know, you have to believe that you'll somehow be able to.
Wow.
12! That's a yes! That's more than anybody else.
Who go first? You won't give me.